Okay. Want to record a little video here or live stream and I want to verify the decline of Western civilization. So I went and asked Grok to do some comparisons on some certain items. I'm sure there's more comparisons you could do, but I just wanted to show a little bit of the decline of civilization. Because a lot of people, think everything's getting better, greater and better all the time, but the evidence is to the contrary many times. So let's go see what Grok has to say here. Go here, and we'll go ahead here. So I posted one example in there of our one graph. So I asked for Grok to graph the level of complexity of books and movies based on the vocabulary and significance and profound meaning throughout history. So he goes ahead and researches stuff here. Even though unique words have increased significantly, the use of the words has basically declined. Type to token ratios have decreased. Implying older texts had higher lexical diversity relative to their length, potentially higher complexity in vocabulary and use per word. Average word length have increased in modern decades, but lower readability. Profound meaning, significance. Older literature, Renaissance, Victorian era, often features archaic, layered language and philosophical depth, while modern works incorporate diverse global influences but may prioritize accessibility. Some argue modern vocabulary isn't simpler overall, it's just adapted to contemporary tests. Rare vocabulary in educational texts has increased across grade levels. Okay, hinting rise in complexity and exposure. You would like to think, but here's the actual results here. Books, vocabulary complexity, type token ratio, proxy complexity level. In the 1820s, you got a scale of 100. It's all the way up at the top. 1860s decline 76%. 1900s decline, further decline. 1940s keeps on declining. 1980s declines even more. 2020s, the estimate is even more. So it's like a quarter of what it used to be as far as complexity. As far as profound meaning, subjective estimate. 1920s, you have 100% with Romanticism depth. In the 1820s, what did I say? 1920s, 1820s, you have depth. Victorian complexity is a decline to 90%. So 1860s. 1900s, modernist innovation, more decline. 1940s, post-war introspection, greater decline. 1980s, Postmodern fragmentation, even more decline. 2020s. Diverse but accessible themes is a even more decline. So the complexity, there's a decline in the complexity and a decline in the profound, the significant meaning of things. So we got movies here. Movies, dialogue complexity, word count proxy. Of course, in the movies, 1930s would be, you wouldn't expect it to be all the way up. Well, it's just starting out. But in the 40s, you have peak verbosity in the 1940s. 1960, there's a drop in words. So there's a word count proxy. 1980s, it increases and increases. 2000, 2020, rising trend, but it's not even up there near the 1940s with the word count. So here we got movies with profound meaning, subjective estimate, profound level. 1930s theatrical roots. Again, starting out, you wouldn't expect it to be up there. The 1940s era, war era depth. Peak verbosity in 1940s, and 1940s is war era depth. Then you get the new wave, experimentation, drops in significance, 1980, 75. This is blockbuster shift in the 1980s. CGI, the 2000s, drops even more. And you got the 2020 of the streaming fragmentation, it drops even more. So we're not making very good progress here. So how would you compare the literature to Sumerian, Egyptians, and any others such as Hindu and Chinese? Okay, it goes through and explains all of this here. Egyptian literature. But what I wanted was a graph. It didn't make a graph. I'm a sort of a visual person. Okay, so I asked it another question. Can you express in graphs the differences in vocabulary, ancient literature to the literature today, and can you include the Bible as well and Greek literature? So vocabulary size comparisons. We got vocabulary size. I don't know if it means by vocabulary size. I guess the number of words, number of letters. No. Vocabulary size in ancient literatures is generally smaller than in modern literature due to less specialization, limited corpora, fewer documented forms, and probably less space to write the stuff in. Estimates are based on lexical studies and dictionaries. Ancient languages often have up to 50,000 unique words, while modern English draws from a pool of 170,000 active words. Biblical Hebrew has 8,500 unique words. Greek classical lexicon has 50,000 words. These are approximations. Exact counts vary by definition, including compounds or inflections. So here we got some graphs. Here's a text-based bar graph, normalized 0 to 100 scale, where 100 is 170,000 words for modern English. Actual estimates: Sumerian 4,000, Egyptian 15,000, Vedic is 15,000, Classical Chinese 20,000, Biblical Hebrew 8,500, Greek 50,000, Modern 170,000. Notice we have all these words, and yet in actual practice, they're not even being utilized. So vocabulary size. These are the sizes based on what we just read. Modern English, of course, having the axis or the largest vocabulary. Ancient Greek, we know that's very expressive. Biblical Hebrew has very, very few. Sumerian, yeah. Biblical Hebrew has more than Sumerian. So, whereas, where's the Sumerian? Okay, Sumerian is 4,000. Hebrew is 8,500. Egyptian 15,000. Vedic 15,000. Classical Chinese 20,000. All right, now let's go see about the diversity. Okay, with all that being said, lexical diversity, proxy estimates. Sumerian is concise lists. Egyptian is formulaic texts. Vedic is poetic variation. Chinese is terse classical. Biblical Hebrew, narrative, depth. Ancient Greek, philosophical range. Look at the modern English. It's repetitive and long forms. Well, isn't that something? That was just the thing that I had to, just a point I had to make about the decline of Western civilization. But anyways, there you have it. It looks pretty good. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this problem of the decline of Western civilization? The only hope, of course, is the truth of God's word, the gospel. It's the only solution, is the truth of God's word. And we know there was a uptick in understanding with the Gutenberg press when the Bible was put into print. It caused it led to everything we have today, of course. But started with the Reformation, all that stuff, is because the Bible was put into print. So what we need to do and share the truth of God's word, which holds its own. It's reasonable, rational, logical, and truthful. We have all this in our favor, and all we need to do is get out there and share it with the world. and we will remedy our declining condition. So we'd like to see in a couple of years an improvement, but the way things are going, I don't know. We have a lot that's against us. We have a lot of things opposing us and everything, but we need to get out there. I'm greatly encouraged by the recent responses of Christians in our American, we say, culture, society, whatever, as opposed to other countries. We are leading the way as far as biblical truth and doing the right thing, and there's other countries are following our lead. Many other countries are following our lead as we speak, and we need to, be a light to the world, of course. We need to be effective as far as reaching or sharing the gospel, sharing the truth of God's word with other people. So that's about it. Everybody take care, and we'll get her done, as some people say, get her done. We'll be sharing the truth of God's word and having an effect on the population, the general population, and the world at large. So God bless everybody and take care.